So I chose to do geography, history and economics at A-level. So I had a humanities-based set. And after that, I went to do a degree in countryside planning and environmental policy. So quite specific in terms of countryside rather than towns, which is what I used to look at now. But countryside planning, and my course was very wide, so I could have gone into estate management, so farming, I could have gone into tourism, or I could have gone into planning, town planning, councils or developers, and that's what I ended up doing. And then after that, I moved on to I got a job at a local council as my first job, and I did a part-time day release course to do my master's in town planning. So I had a day out of work to go and studied in London to get my master's at the same time as working full-time.
Wow. So tell us about a project or some, an inspiring project that you've been part of in your career.
So as I said, I worked for local councils for quite a number of years, just about 19 years. I worked in lots of different councils, but when I worked at Tunbridge Wells Council, I was sort of head of development management, which is the team that deal with the planning applications, and I dealt with a major new general hospital for Tunbridge Wells, so redeveloping an old Victorian site to make a brand new hospital for Tunbridge Wells in that area, and that was a fantastic project to get involved with. A really interesting both heritage issues on site, but redevelopment, providing this amazing new building for the future residents of the area. But then that also freed up a large town centre site because it was a split hospital site. So then after that, we then had a large town centre site that we were able to work on the regeneration, bringing the houses and other mixed use right in the town centre of Tunbridge Wells. So you get involved in some fantastic projects like that, and similarly in Cambridge where we are now, similar projects I've been involved with across the country. So it's a fantastic thing to get involved in.
Did you know much about the planning industry before you went in it as a student yourself?
I didn't know much about planning before I went in, although my dad was a local councillor for many years, so I'd seen a little bit from where I grew up in a village and the changes that happened there and his involvement with the council. But that wasn't particularly why I went to do my degree or went into planning. I just fell into it slightly, interesting as it is, but just sort of fell into it slightly at the end of my degree.
Wow. Did you do any work experience before you joined?
I didn't do any work experience with councils. No, I did other. My work experience at school was in an accounts department because I wanted to be an accountant. So quite a complete change to what I ended up doing. But that's the way it worked at that particular point.
Yeah. Where do you see the future of planning industry? Obviously, it's affected by a series of social, economic factors. Climate change, for example, is that impacting your job a lot?
Yeah, so one of the best things about my job is I get to look to the future, gaze into the future, bit of blue sky thinking about the changes and the challenges we're experiencing, and that's partly from government policy, partly from the wish from our company and our investors to change and think about the social impact we have and the environmental impact we have. So we are doing a lot about the carbon neutrality of homes at the moment, and the water use of homes, and thinking about how we can reduce that, both in terms of the build itself, but also in terms of the running of that. So getting involved with the technical teams, who are obviously much more specialist in this than I am, but getting involved in that side of things to be able to think about the new product that we're going to bring forward that would be better to live in, more environmentally friendly and better for the residents.
So do you have any advice for the students who are coming to this event today to learn about planning?
I think for the students who are thinking about their choices for A-levels or degree, I chose my A-levels that I enjoyed, and thinking about the broad range that I wanted to do. And I think that's really important. You've got to want to enjoy it. But having the opportunity to shape the area that you live in, having the opportunity to leave a legacy, I think is a fantastic thing for any job. But being a part of that built environment is, well, I've really enjoyed it. It's great. So everyone else should do it as well.
We do get lots of questions about CV writing and cover letter writing. Do you have any advice on what to include and not to include?
That's a really difficult one. So we don't accept specific CVs. So we accept that we have an application form that people have to provide. But I think giving a good understanding of why they want the role, why they specifically want it, why they want the job, or why they want to go on the course, I think is really important. Too many people, I think, are quite generic and they don't really think about the specific job they're applying for, perhaps the course, and don't tailor their answers for that. Because, and I get it and I've done it, you're applying for lots of different things at the same time, so you have a general response, but you really need to work to make it specific and understand the company you're applying to. Have a look at what they're saying on their websites and on their social media feeds. Understand what's really important to them, because that's what you've got to address in your interview.